10 on it. You can't do that again, bro.
You bugging. I got a stack. He don't make that shit again.
Woo! Yeah.
30. Bet you don't make it again.
Go.
Bet you don't make it again.
Give me my money. Yeah.
Give my money. No.
So a lot of activity going on around here, you heard? Heavy gun smoke going on around here, you heard? Better know it.
I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity? I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity?
What's the activity? Load up and drip on the enemy. Flag hanging like a penalty. All in his hood, I'm testing his energy. The baby mama, she be feeling me. Said you a lame, you want my identity. Said how you envy me. Said you be talking my enemy. Wearing Jordans, you offending me. Boy, you a stunt dummy. Keep a little shooter, don't come for me. Spend 100K like it's lunch money. I shoot a phone like a punch buggy. Fat nigga, no rilla. Fat nigga trick, got that North in him. Look at my diamonds, got Voss in 'em. Fat boys fly, got that Ross in 'em. Probably be busy, I really be busy. I treat all you bitches accordingly. She put on the show, I pull up my phone, she coming like you gon' record me. You gotta put on, no really put on. I'ma put you on my story. Sierra Marie, she like the D, call more than tell her your story.
I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity? I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity?
Make sure you got my bread, man. You hear me? Alright, man. Money on the wood. Make the bet go good, baby. Let's get it. Give me my money, boy. Let's get it. Well, you got cash app, run it back, nigga. You got cash app, run it back.
I got cash out.
Nigga gonna ask me if I got cash app.
Cash
Yeah, I got motherfucking cash app. Nigga, run it back, nigga. Cash app me on the dice, on the zero. What you talking about?
Smoke out a pound, pop a few pints, slight activity. Pick up some Sprites, hit up some ice, slight activity. Come with the ice, shake up the dice, slight activity. I'm with the gang, slight activity. I'm with the gang, I got a string, put that on my name. Bad head money, I'm still the same, still in the trap, ain't nothing changed. I'm on the block, nigga, literally. Baby Drake, that's my mini. Talking real Mackie, keep all that energy. Think it's a game, act like you egging me. Want all the smoke, like
I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity? I'm in the truck, nigga, literally. Baby Draco, that's my mini. 10K just to mention me. What's the activity? We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? Wrap the brick and Gucci, it came from Italy. Diamond from Tiffany's, I'ma take Tiffany. We active, looking for the activity. What's the activity? What's the activity?
Smoke out a pound, pop a few pints, slight activity. Pick up some Sprites, hit up some ice, slight activity. What's the activity? Come with the ice, shake up the dice, slight activity. I'm with the gang, slight activity. I'm with the gang, put that on my name. What's the activity? I'm with the gang, put that on my name.
What's going on, everybody? It's two Oxtails and an Empanada. It's your boy, Uncle Paulie.
It's your girl, Ange.
You know, we gonna come here and jump on this, man. And, yo, I'm gonna get into it real quick, man. We was thinking about changing the name, man. So the people who really watch and tune in, maybe y'all can help us come up with a different name, because it's kind of just me, and it's not even kind of, it's me and Angie now. So we trying to change the name, man. So maybe y'all can help us change the name. But how was your weekend?
My weekend was okay. You know what I'm saying? I was sick. You know, I guess I caught a cold from one of my students at the school, but I'm telling everybody, I'm good. Turmeric, ginger, probiotics, green tea, and a shot of whatever you like will get you right back together. You know what I'm saying? So I had a really good weekend, and I want to say thank you to all of the veterans for all of your service. Since we wasn't here to wish you that on that day, we want to let you know that we appreciate you today.
Shout out to my son Buddha. Word up, man. I had a good weekend.
Tyler, shut up.
I worked and I caught up on a lot of sleep. I've been really working a lot, man. I've been working 6 days a week since May. So it kind of caught up to me. So this week I got a lot of sleep. I ain't leave the house. I ain't do nothing. I played a little Call of Duty, and I slept a lot and watched football. So
That was good.
yeah, my joint was a little light, man. But what's up, Andrea? What's going on?
Hey, Andrea. So listen, guys. Now I see it's a lot of y'all paying attention to us, but I need y'all to hit that like button. You be with us. You rock with us every week, like I know you do. Make sure you hit that like button.
So I got a question for the people in the comment section, and even the people who's
Happy belated birthday, Andrea. Turn up.
a word up, happy birthday, Andrea.
Andrea's birthday.
Hold up.
Hey.
Oh shit, is this mic on? Could y'all hear me or y'all ain't got no headphones on? Hey Andrea, happy fucking birthday, baby. Thanks for rocking with us all the time too.
Word up. So I want to ask people, man, with everything that's going on right now, we got the presidential campaign coming up soon. You know, they're doing a little stuff. So Kanye West talking about running for president. It seems like he's serious. So I wanted to ask.
What?
He seems like Kanye West is running for president. It seems like he's really serious.
He said that a long time ago in 2020.
Get your mic. Fuck out of here.
For real, he said that a long time ago, though.
But he got on the Breakfast Club and said, like, he's really. But I want to get into it. Why? I have a question for you, Angie, and you, Uncle Ra. Why is it that black people are so dedicated to the Democratic Party, and also why is it that we hate the Republican Party so much?
Well, on one accord, because I decided to kind of do some research on it, but to kind of simplify it, it's like they make us hate ourselves and love their wealth. Just from how I feel before I get into some facts, I feel like the Republican Party is more about self-accountability. They don't believe in all of the different government-funded programs, whereas the Democratic Party has almost made, I guess, their whole existence based off of that. And some people look at it as a positive thing. Some people look at it as a negative thing, because you can make people lazy when you're constantly giving them things. But I decided to go ahead and just pull up a couple of facts. I'm going to read right through it really quick, and then we can go on and proceed. So I just want to go all the way back to President Kennedy. So once in the White House, President Kennedy faced pressure from civil rights activists to make good on what King called a huge promissory note to pass meaningful civil rights legislation. When President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, he cemented a political alliance between African Americans and the Democratic Party that continues to this day. But celebrating these landmark pieces of legislation makes it easy to overlook what black people in the United States lost when civil rights and equality for blacks were hitched to the Democratic Party. So I'm going to just stop right there.
Okay.
And then you can kind of just go on.
And I want to say this real quick. I looked up today.
You're right, Tyler.
What's the values of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party? So they said the modern Democratic Party emphasizes on egalitarianism, if I'm saying it right, and social equality through liberalism. They support voting rights and minority rights, including LGBT rights, multiculturalism, and religious secularisms. And then I looked up the Republican Party, and it says they support lower taxes, free market capitalism, a strong national defense, gun rights, pro-life, deregulation and restrictions on labor unions, in addition to advocating for conservative economic policies. and it says the Republican Party is socially conservative. So when I look at these things and I hear that, it makes me wonder if these are the true values of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, why do we as black people support the Democratic Party?
Well, again, like I just
the only part I don't like is that they're against unions.
Right.
That's the only part I don't like. But
then again, look into the history of unions.
Yes, yeah.
And why unions were created. I mean, right now, of course, this is something that can protect all of us, depending on which company we work for. But at a time, the inception of it literally was just about making sure that people of color were not able to make as much money as their white counterparts. Now, I just want to read one more passage from the stuff that I was looking into. And it says here, after the 1964 election where Republican candidate Barry Goldwater described the Civil Rights Act as unconstitutional, black voters essentially found themselves in a one-party system for presidential elections. Republicans turned their attention to white voters in the South, in the suburbs, and have made few serious attempts in subsequent campaigns to appeal to the African-American electorate. Richard Nixon in 1960 is the last Republican candidate to earn more than 15% of black votes. So what it sounds like is that from what I've researched, it seems like that African Americans feel that they're in debt to the Democratic Party, where they won't even question them because they feel like, hey, if it wasn't for them, we would still be looked upon as 1/3 of a vote. Whereas Republican Party is saying, you know what, we don't have time to focus, or we don't even care to focus on how do we get the black vote or the Latino vote. We're just going to press on American issues.
Okay, Tyler's saying you're wrong, but Tyler, you said something a little earlier. You said that
if I'm wrong, baby, correct me. I'm here for it. I don't know everything.
You said Republicans are for less government and Democrats don't want government involvement, and you're wrong. The Democrats, that's what they push. Everything is the involvement of the government. They want the government to tell you what to do, your schooling. Remember they took it was the Democrats that pushed taking the praying out of schools, saluting the flags. That was all them who took that out. So I just think, like one day I had said to my moms, how can she support the Democratic Party when they're all against her religion beliefs?
Right.
And she couldn't understand it. It's like, I get upset because the Democratic Party has been promising us and saying all of these different things, but yet they have gave us nothing.
Absolutely not.
But 85% of black people, in my opinion, will vote for them and don't even know who the person is. As long as they're Democrats,
they'll just go that route.
And that's why.
And that's generational too. You got to think about, a lot of us don't have full information or understanding of how the voting process works, about how none of these titles even matter. Again, there is a series on Netflix, and it's called The Family. And it's breaking down things about what's secret societies that are going on right and in front of our face, in front of our eyes, concerning the government. And one of the phrases that they use in their society is that, listen, those titles mean nothing here. Whether Democratic or Republican, it means nothing here, because they understand that all this shit is really a fucking joke at the end of the day, because Republicans only look out for a certain class. From what it seems.
But if you look at it, the Democrats do too. If you look at that's why I guess
exactly, Tyler. You're absolutely right. The goal is to get money.
The goal is to get money. But if you look
power.
at when Obama was in office, everybody act like he did so much for us. But if you look back, even the bailout he did, that was all for the rich companies. The tax breaks he gave, that was all for the rich companies. And that's why when I sit back and I say I believe the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is bullshit. But us as black people, I believe that if we start saying, this is what I want, and if you're not doing this, we're not voting, we can change things. But then also I feel as though, look at the Chinese and the Indians. They really don't vote. So if we start supporting each other and leaning on each other, I believe that we can also do more and be able to sustain and help ourselves. That's why I think integration was the
downfall?
The downfall of the black man, because when we were segregated, that's all we could do was depend on ourselves, and that's what we did do.
So now, Tyler, you're right. He did give out universal health care, and he had to do that because the president that was in there before him has spent so much money and almost sent us into the second Great Depression. I'm not taking away from that. What I will say is I think that the reason why he got in was because they said they had to either pick between this black man or this woman. I feel that we will never, in my opinion, we'll never see a woman in a presidential seat. I feel that presidents are not elected. They are already picked, in my opinion. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that both of Obama's parents had political ties, from his father being politically tied in Kenya, as well as him also being a descendant and a relative to Dick Cheney. So there's a big understanding of that. I also think that because of him being the black president, that he did have to be very mindful of everything that he said and did at a point in time. The reason why I say this is because when he first got into office, I mean, a lot of things happened to him. He wasn't even officially called President Obama until almost over a year and a half of him actually being in turn. His wife and children were constantly being scrutinized. But again, this is something that we already know is going to happen just because of what they look like. But that does not mean that he was not handpicked for this situation. And you also got to understand is that the only way you know how effective a president is until at least I think it's what they say 4 years after he's left the office, because a lot of people feel like, oh, well, this president promised us this, they put in that law. You do understand that laws don't happen overnight. They trickle down. It takes a certain amount of time for those things to kick in. So I really just say for people that there's nothing wrong with doing your research and having an understanding of how all of this works. It's unfortunate when we go and vote for the presidential election, you'll always have that sad and lonely liberal that some people in their heart want to vote for, but they're like, you know what, there's not enough of us that think like me. This person will probably have no chance of winning. They may not have enough money or just enough money just to get on the election ballot to even run. So there's a lot of science behind this.
I want to say something to Tyler. I get aggravated when we say we go against our own people.
Right.
Just because we're black doesn't mean that you have to agree with the black person and the things they do. And you said that he gave health care.
He did.
But we always had health care, free health care, Medicaid and all that. But what no one doesn't realize is if you don't take this government health care, the Obamacare, whatever you call it, you get penalized.
Well, but you got to understand why, though. See, when they did the Medicaid, right? I just want you to just hear what I'm saying real quick. When he did Medicaid expansion, Medicaid was only for single parents or people that receive general assistance through the welfare system. Because we know that the majority of us can't afford health insurance due to either our jobs not offering it, or is that we're under a certain federal poverty guideline that's going to eat up majority of our check. And the majority of us have families. So I actually, because I used to do Obamacare for the marketplace, I actually agreed with the concept.
Of fining somebody because they don't want it?
Well, no, not that. It was just that we were at a point, we were at a point to this point that we had no medical, if you don't have no medical coverage,
okay,
right? And then you're going to a hospital.
Okay.
And then you have to apply for charity care. That's funds that have to be pulled out from a certain account. For people to get charity care, they can only go to one hospital. They don't cover, mind you, charity care does not cover prescriptions.
But see, this is the problem that I have. If I don't want health care, you don't fine me and make me say, if I don't do this, I have a problem. The second problem I have is you tell an American citizen that he has to pay or to get a charity and you're taking out funds, but you can have an illegal immigrant and their family go to a hospital and get free care. And who has to take care of that? The tax-paying citizen. Mm-hmm. So I have a problem with that all around, especially when most people were covered by Medicaid.
Not people that were not receiving assistance. That's why he did Medicaid expansion.
Okay, but now, like
if you're under
my
a
man
certain,
said, Trump has stopped that fine.
Yeah, Trump stopped that fine. He
because
did.
some people really just they okay.
Yeah, well,
it's a lot of people that's into the home taking care of themselves.
Yeah, but Trump didn't stop that for the benefit of some people that are okay. Trump tried to not only damn near duplicate Obamacare and just stick his name on it and said Trump care, and it didn't work. The healthcare expansion actually helped us get out of the damn deficit that we were in when President Bush was in office. I mean, one thing I will say, because I did not agree with a lot of things that Obama did. That nigga took a lot of flack.
I never said that. He did take a lot of
He
flack.
had a lot of shit to clean up.
I never said that I didn't like. There was just a lot of things that I didn't like, and everybody act like he was just the best president ever. And my personal opinion, I didn't agree. But even like even Alan Ray said, Obama signed the bill. It's a lot of things he did, but he signed the bill in 2014 that allowed GMOs to sell in markets without being required to label foods as GMOs. You're
absolutely right, and because of him is the reason why we're going through what we're going through now with the DACA situation with Trump, because he forgot some loopholes and Trump slid right up in there. So I completely understand that. And again, if you look into every president that we've had in history,
all fucked us.
They all had something.
They all took care of the rich.
Right.
They all took held the poor down,
right,
and they took from the middle class.
But the only thing that I will say that just President Obama being in office did, that I saw personally, it was very interesting to see black children respond to somebody that looks like them in that position. You would be surprised the amount of kids in colleges and high school. So he did provide something for the youth to say, oh, it could be done. Yes. Because you have the old school people. I have grown up around my own personal family where they be like, this will never happen until pigs fly, or we see a black president, and they laugh about that because they thought in their lifetime that was something that was not attainable. And so even though he might have had those things, he did provide that positive outlook for other people. So sometimes you got your negative, you can turn it into a positive. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at it from that, like a catch-22 almost.
Yeah, but
hey,
we're not gonna talk y'all head off with this political stuff, man. But
we're just gonna tell y'all get into it.
Yeah, we just trying to bring awareness, man. So, just voting on your local level, just voting in general, man, so we can and hold these people accountable, man.
Yes.
Hold these people accountable. I live in East Orange in New Jersey, and they have a mayor named Ted Green.
Yes, they do.
And the people voted for him.
That's the people's mayor.
And he's actually doing a lot of great things and changing things and programs for the people to buy house. Like, he's doing a lot.
He's doing a lot. I mean, he's turning. They call East Orange a city on the move. There's a lot of reasons why they say that, but I'm even just this past weekend, he did at one of their new buildings that they just opened up on South Harrison Street. He had about 7 local businesses, eateries, come in and actually cook for the residents that bought tickets, like $10 tickets, and you were able to taste different foods of people that live in your city that have small businesses. You were able to see local artists show some of their work, and it was a beautiful thing. He has a fathers group that runs twice a week. Mm-hmm. He has an initiative. If you go to at least 3 to 4 visits, you get $100 just for coming. So he's really bridging the gap for the city.
I'm sorry, but Tyler, why would you think, and then we're gonna move on, that we have no idea what it is to be black? I don't. Maybe your screen don't have color.
Don't have
but I'm black.
You don't have the same funding.
I'm black than a motherfucker. I don't talk about what I do because I don't like to.
Oh, you have no idea how hard it is to be black and professional and dealing in professional environments, courts, businesses. Well, Tyler, we really can't say that.
I can't say that. I don't get into what I do because I don't like to bring my job up here, and I won't get in. I won't get into my job, but we all go through the same things, and just because our opinions might be a little different does it mean that we don't go through the same things that you go through?
Absolutely. And you know what? We need these discussions, because if you feel that way, then that means that there's a lack of a conversation that needs to be had. Okay? I'm not mad at you for feeling that way, because guess what? You may have some experiences and things that maybe we can't say. Again, you're not too sure about, well, you may know what I do professionally, but you may not know, what Paul does professionally. And then, like I said, you told us you were a lawyer. I would love to have you come on the show one day. Maybe we could discuss these things together.
Well,
let's bridge the gap.
We're going to bridge the gap, but we're going to move on. Let's get into this T.I. thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, all right. So, again, y'all know how I like to say it. If you've been living under a rock, then you mustn't hear about rapper T.I. basically stating about his daughter, not the daughter that Tiny has, which is Anique, but his daughter by another woman. She just graduated from high school not so long ago. I think she's in college, and he goes with her to the OBGYN visits to make sure that she's still a virgin, and he checks her hymen. And
he doesn't check it himself.
It doesn't matter. He's telling and
come on.
And I have a. It's not that I have an issue. There's nothing wrong with him being hands-on as a father, but I think that there's a disconnect here, because on one accord, you say you want your daughter to stay pure, but yet you promote you don't have a problem with your sons having sex multiple times a day. And then on top of all of these things that you say, you publicly, repeatedly disrespect your wife. You cheat on her with the said women that you don't want your daughter to become. And I'm not saying that I'm looking for this man to be perfect, because none of us are perfect. I just feel that he is a walking contradiction. And furthermore, if that's what he wants to do, I have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is him actually vocalizing this and putting this into the media about her personal, intimate business, about going to a place such as the OBGYN. And if you're a woman and you're in this news feed right now, you know what we go through and men do not. You know what we go through when we go into a visit, when we do our annuals with an OBGYN. So for your father to publicly announce that, in my opinion, it's demeaning. You can go ahead.
All right. Now, Terrence, what up, babe? What up, Smoke?
Hey.
Now,
Nakanda Hush.
The only problem that I feel is that T.I. did wrong was broadcasting it where everybody in the world can hear it. Now, after that, he did nothing wrong. You have a black man that's in his daughter's life, and he's trying to make sure that she don't get pregnant so she can continue doing what she needs to do and be successful. And I'm trying to people are going crazy. I seen TMZ saying that he's wrong and this and she's grown and you gotta, and my thing is, if she gets pregnant, she's good. Her family's good. If the father leaves, they can still take care. But when you come on a level like us, it's good for fathers to be in their daughters' lives like this. Like I've been to the doctors with my daughters. My wife was there, but I've been there. I took my daughters to the doctors by myself. Now I wasn't in a room with them and all of that, but we've had the discussions about sex.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I have a 24 and a 25-year-old daughter. They talk to me about sex. I talk to them. Now, there's certain things that I would allow my son to do.
Hit that like button, guys.
I would allow my son to do that I'm not going to let our daughters do. And if you want to say that it's being biased, all right, then I'm biased. We have to raise our daughters up on a whole nother level.
Right.
And we have a man that's trying to raise his daughter on a whole nother level.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
People are complaining. They're saying he's not a good father. He's not this.
I would never say it about T.I. I would never say that.
It's almost like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
My question is, at what point is too much business? I know that he's a celebrity, but there's certain things that can be left behind closed doors. Like I'll use this as an example. Sometimes you'll have boys or men tell stories about how they had sex at 7, or they had their first experience.
That's horrible.
Listen, you're absolutely right.
Yo.
But society will say, yeah, that's right, little man. And I've actually witnessed this in my life. I've actually seen something happen between two children, and how the girl, got beat down, but the boy, got praises for it. The sad thing is, as grown men, these men don't realize that when you were 10 and she was 17, you were being molested. Now, I know that that's not something that would be put out there in the narrative because it's a male and it's happening to him, and then that's almost a sign of weakness. So we can't put that out there like that, but that's something that's happening. Yeah. That should not be celebrated.
But we're getting away from what the real issue is. And this is what I have a problem with. You had the white lady on TMZ.
Exactly, Andrea.
You had the white lady on TMZ said that she's grown and he shouldn't be in his business and he shouldn't do that.
Oh no, he should be in his business.
You had other people. So my thinking is this: if everybody want to be so fucking grown, right, and do what the fuck they want to do, stay out of my business. You shouldn't be in my business.
Right, Tyler.
Give me your privacy. Then you know what you need to do, because no one wants their daughters to be a hoe, and we know how life is.
Absolutely.
So let me finish. So if you feel like you're that grown, or you don't want no one in your business, so then it's time for you to move on and be on your own.
You're right.
And that's the problem that I have. We pushing out the wrong narrative. Like I said, T.I. fucked up. I would never get on here and tell my daughter's business. Now, if he would have said, hey, I went to the doctors with my daughter, I try to make sure everything is okay, cool, but he went too far. But when you start saying that a father shouldn't be in his daughter's life and talk stuff and do that, and she's grown.
I'm
not saying you, but this is the narrative. Like, they was going crazy.
Yeah, so they shouldn't go that far.
And you had a lot of young people saying it's too much. Parents need to chill. So when you start feeling like a parent shouldn't be in your business anymore, and that you're grown, then you need to be able to take care of yourself. Because as long as someone else is taking care of you and providing for you, then guess what? There's certain rules that you're going to have to follow, and if you don't like them,
right?
I don't understand it.
But at what point are parents, I'm just going to use this example.
Go ahead.
So now, T.I. is absolutely right. I'm here for that. He should check on his daughter. More fathers should be involved like that and should know what's going on, and I don't think he should have made this public. But what I will say is this. Is that where it begins and ends for T.I. to make sure that her hymen is intact?
No.
Or is it Is it T.I.'s responsibility to teach his daughter the type of man that she should look to be with?
Right. Now,
should he have that? Because guess what? If her mother was out here hoeing and she chose to be a hoe, that'd be fucked up, because a mother is supposed to be the representation of, we're supposed to be able to teach our girls how to be women. At the same time, a father's responsibility is to teach a girl how to look at what to look up to when it comes to a man. When you can constantly go on TMZ, when you can constantly see your father slapping bitches on the ass, flying bitches out, cheating on your stepmother that then helped raise you, and do all of these things, does he sit down and talk to her then before they go to the OBGYN? Damn, that rhyme. Bars. I just need to understand those
We don't
things.
know that, but this is.
Well, why don't we know that? We know about him checking for her hymen.
We don't know that, but we going into the checking for the hymen. What I'm saying to you is, he went too far putting out in public. It was
wrong.
But
are we doing that for attention?
Yeah, whatever reason he did it, I can't answer that. But what I'm saying to you is, as a father, fuck him talking about it on the radio. He did that. That was the dumbest thing he could have ever did.
That's all I'm saying.
But I agree with that.
No, I agree with what he's doing. But I just don't agree. Do you understand what type of humiliation that girl has to go through? That's what I was about to get into. That's why I said he fucked up. He never thought about her. Like I said, I will never get on this show and talk about my daughter. Tell it, Andrea. Family hustle.
My daughter's personal stuff or my son's personal stuff on a fucking show.
Word.
And what he did was, that's like, I'm just making something up. That's like my daughter's having bad gas, and I come up here and start talking about that gas.
Right.
Now everybody's looking at her like, yo, I ain't know you stink. Like, no, he humiliated her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's embarrassed. And that's something that she might not have known. She might not have wanted even people to know she was a virgin.
No, she didn't want people to know. Now,
you get what I'm saying? So I understand that part. My problem is no one is really attacking what he did anymore. What they're attacking now is that he should have never. He shouldn't be in her privacy like that at all. And that's the problem I have. Men need to talk to their daughters, fathers. That's the problem, because a lot of men ain't even fathers anymore. If you want to keep it 100.
She's not a minor, Tyler. She's not a minor.
She's 18. But a lot of men are not even fathers not anymore. They don't even, they didn't have discussion. I remember I used to show my kids diseases. Niggas not even talking to their kids about diseases, rubbers, sex.
You're
so
right.
that's the thing that we need to talk about.
But guess what he did by telling her business?
Yeah, he humiliated her.
Not just that.
Asshole.
No, it's not about humiliation at this point. He put a target on her fucking back. See, I'm about 2 fucking feet tall. All these motherfucking brand new, young, upcoming rappers and shit that don't give a fuck about respect or any of those things. Now, you say you want your daughter to stay pure. You just put a fucking mark on that girl's back. Now, all these motherfuckers gonna be, and she's a beautiful girl, by the way. All these guys gonna be looking at her saying, damn, I wonder what it's like to bust that right there. It ain't been touched. So you got to look at those things. When you are famous, you have a certain responsibility. There's a certain line that does not need to be discussed, because when he was out here fucking cheating and shit, he didn't want to talk about that.
Keep bringing up cheating.
I have to.
Let's keep it 100. We acting like these young motherfucking kids ain't out here fucking, period.
They gonna want to smash her even more because he put that information out there.
These kids out here are trying to fuck whether he put that information out there or not. Let's stop the bullshit. She had a target on her back once they found out that's T.I. daughter. Yeah. Anybody that's famous who has a daughter, what dude or what female would not want to sleep with them? Let's keep it 100.
You're right.
And then let's keep it 100 too. These kids out here fucking. They're fucking.
We understand that.
So that's why, as parents, and that's all I'm saying, I don't agree with what T.I. did. But as parents, we need to understand that we need to sit down with our kids. Don't bullshit like a lot of our parents did. And try not to talk to us about sex. No, we need to let our kids know, listen.
But is ratings that serious? Is ratings that serious? That was the only reason why that shit was put out like that.
I don't care about his ratings. I don't care about... Fuck T.I. and what he said. What I'm getting to is, this is good to bring up that we need to start discussing things with our kids.
Absolutely.
Having open relationships with them as young, and let them know, hey, listen, I don't want you having sex, but if you do, here's condoms. This is what you do with condoms.
Absolutely.
These are diseases. It's just not about getting pregnant.
Yeah,
then if you do get pregnant, this is what comes with it. But everybody talk to their kids about being pregnant, but not diseases.
And I completely agree with you.
T.I.'s a dumb.
Right, yeah, I agree with you on that note. When it comes to parents, I feel that dads and moms should both be hands-on, and we need to talk to our kids about things, because there are more and more diseases that are coming brand new out every day. I get that. The only thing I'm saying is, what was the real purpose of even putting that out? I'm just thinking back to a young girl. Damn, your father's already famous. People are already looking at you. You already got a target on your back. But here he go out here talking about your OBGYN visit. I'm just talking about from a female perspective. You're checking on your motherfucking hymen and all of that. And I just didn't feel that this was needed. We got enough drama in y'all family hustle that did not need to be put out there. But that's all I'm saying.
But even look at the name, and I agree with that. But look at the name, Family Fucking Hustle. It's about that money, but I don't care about the money part. My thing is, I'm happy to see that he is at least trying to be. It's just that he went about it wrong. But as men, and if anybody that's looking at this, as a man,
Andrea, she shouldn't be embarrassed to be a virgin, but right now that's not part of the culture. It's not about her being embarrassed to being a virgin, but that's her business.
That's bad that it's not a part of the culture.
It's been not a part of the culture. It stopped when motherfuckers was walking around here with the scarlet A on their chest for being out here fucking people's husbands and shit. So look, that shit been done in the American culture.
But what I just want to get into, fathers, man, if you out there, because it seems like a lot of the mothers today, it's taking a lot of the weight on their shoulders. And us as men, we got to step up a little bit more. And if you have a son, be in his life. If you have a daughter, be in her life. And try to be, as a man, especially with young girls that's growing into women looking at you, talk to them.
Yes.
Be that person that shows them that, yo, this is how a man is supposed to treat a lady.
Right.
This is how a man is not supposed to treat a lady. Like, you're supposed to show these things, and I think that even though there's a bad that came out of this, there's a good that can come out of this also, because maybe more men will start getting into their daughters' lives.
Right.
But the way he did that was wrong. It's fucked up, and I feel sorry for her.
Just don't make this a challenge.
She even shut down her social media.
She wasn't right.
But I get back to it with the people who out there saying that him as a father should mind his business and should stay out and doing all of that, and the person is grown. I feel like
that's not right.
If you as a young person or a child, you feel like that you are grown and no one should be able to tell you nothing, or you can do what you want to do, then you need to put yourself in a position to get out immediately and be on your fucking own. That's all I'm saying.
And we should definitely talk to our children.
You have to.
Moms and dads. And then also, you just can't talk about it. You got to be about it. We're talking about somebody that has fame behind him. If he didn't have fame behind him, it would still fucking be wrong the way he went about it. However, I think that we definitely need to talk to our children more, because what's happening is we're going around here talking about who's a virgin and who's not. But again, we're not setting examples. So I think that it's more about just talking to your kids. And again, I'm here for dads to want to know about what's going on with their daughters. But dads, what I will say is this. When women start going to the OBGYN, trust me, we do this on a yearly basis. Sometimes people go there more because they're pregnant. You know, it's obstetrics and gynecology. You know what I mean? I get that. But that's something that we like to keep to ourselves, because guess what? No one likes going there. It's an uncomfortable situation. It makes us feel uncomfortable, but it's something that we have to do for our health.
Yeah, I got friends that's...
You don't see us out here talking about y'all getting your prostates checked.
That is uncomfortable. That is uncomfortable. But anyway, I have friends that has daughters, right? They single. I remember my man came crying when his daughter had a period. Mother not around, nothing.
So they got Jesus as their man.
Yeah. You understand? Like mother not around. He has to do all these things with him. He doesn't know what to do. You get what I'm saying? So So what do you say? He's going to ask questions for a long time. He's going to be in a room with him.
Absolutely.
But he doesn't. He said, "Yo, sometimes I don't know what to do." Like he understood. He said, "I would never press my daughter like T.I." He have a 12-year-old daughter, so they talk, they do stuff, try to open up. But could you imagine what
financial responsibility,
what single fathers are going through with who has daughters?
Right, I know they're going through it. Financial. Man. She's more than Mr. Ray. She's more than her father's financial responsibility. She is his responsibility. And of course, if you live under somebody's roof, you go by their rules. I am 110% understanding and believing of that. However, I just feel that certain things, the public does not need to know about. We don't need to know about her hymen. He needs to know about her hymen. If he wants to talk to fathers about making sure that they get out there and check on their daughters and talk to their sons, T.I., I'm here for it, because you are always speaking, you're always talking, I'm here for it. But at the same time, we don't need the particulars, because guess what?
Yeah, he went too far.
For women, that is something that is private, that is not for everybody to know.
He went too far. But we're going to...
Can I comment on that?
Of course you can.
Number one, it was fucked up because he's T.I. I don't know if y'all said that, but number one, it's fucked up because he's a very popular fucking person, and now everybody that knows who your daughter is because of you, she's embarrassed. And number two, what the fuck's gonna happen the day you actually go there and that hymen is broken?
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
You look, I tell people
this. You gonna tell everybody.
Tell a doctor, sew it up.
I tell people this all the time. Everybody's daughter's gonna get got. It's gonna happen.
That's a fact.
It's gonna happen. But as a father and a man, you just want to make sure that your daughter is trying to make a choice. You get what I'm saying?
You can't.
With a right, and unfortunately, you can't.
And see, look at this. And you're absolutely...
Unfortunately, you can't.
And see, look what's just saying right here. Just put it. Just because her vagina is closed, not to say this about his daughter in any way. I'm just talking about in general.
What those lips do.
What those lips do.
Yo, you know
what
what's crazy?
There's so many other ways.
You know what's crazy? I won't say his name, but I had a white guy that worked with me. And he said that, he said he didn't have sex, real sex till he was 18. So I was like, what do you mean? He said, like, a lot of the girls, they didn't want to break their virginity, so they would let me either give me head or let me fuck them in the ass. And I was like, what?
It's not a foolish argument. It's talking about at what point is too much. And we're only going off of that particular argument due to his celebrity and how it affected his daughter and how it actually made her feel. She publicly spoke about it before she shut down her social media site. So that's actually the purpose of the discussion.
And she was liking a lot of things that people were saying. Like I said, he went too far.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Ray.
You could do it. It's not right, but you could do it, but you're not T.I. And then even if you do it as a regular person, you can't fucking go on your social media and tell people that's how you do.
I would rather my daughters feel comfortable enough to say, hey, I broke my virginity. You get what I'm saying? And we have a conversation about it.
Or they thinking about it.
Then I'm pressing them and I'm going to the doctors and saying, all right, doctor, sign over your rights.
It's not your job anyway. Tiny should have been at the doctor.
Yes, it starts. He a chatty patty. That's what he is.
That's crazy, yo.
And I'm going to tell you something else just to like end this real quick. Let me tell you, no matter how much you think you following or running down a teenager, teenagers are aliens. I like to say that. And if they gonna fuck, they gonna find a way to fuck. You gotta have the communication open with them to let them know what it is, because you can't just say, well, my son can go fuck 6 or 7 bitches because he can't come back pregnant or XYZ. He can catch an STD the exact same way that she can. You need to educate your fucking kids.
Period, man. But now we're gonna get off of T.I. And I need you guys to get your cup, your honey, and your sugar. Because now it's time for Angie's tea. Dangle.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. So I want to kind of talk about Whitney Houston's longtime friend, Robin Crawford.
Oh,
now,
snap. I heard. Go ahead.
Now, Robin is said that she's going to basically do a tell-all about her and Whitney's relationship. All right. So I did a little bit of research on this. I'm gonna go through it real quick for y'all, and then I'm just gonna get into it. So there were a lot of things that we didn't know about the late Whitney Houston and her longtime BFF turned assistant, Robin Crawford, is ready to tell it all. For many years, many have speculated that the Grammy-winning songstress was in a romantic relationship with a woman by the name of Robin Crawford, whom she met in her early teen years back in Newark, New Jersey. Crawford said she was first introduced to Houston at age 16 while working a summer job at a community center in the area, and the two friendships blossomed there. However, through the bond, there was a it was actually presented platonically to family and fans. The rumors continued to spread. Bobby Brown, Houston's ex-husband of 15 years, even alleged that the How Will I Know phenomenon was bisexual and did in fact have an affair with Crawford throughout their marriage as well. Brown also talked about the gal pals Too Close for Comfort interaction in his 2018 biopic, The Bobby Brown Story. This is my thing about people outing people that are dead, right? My thing is this. Everybody around town knew that Robin and Whitney had some level of a relationship. It was something that was unspoken. And I'll even use another celebrity as an example, just like it was unspoken, but a lot of people knew that Luther Vandross was gay, right? So it's something that was unspoken of. But my thing is this. Allow people to speak their truth. Now that they're dead, people want money.
Word.
And guess what, Robin? We know damn well you made a pact with Pat Houston, who is married to Whitney Houston's brother, who also is in charge of the Whitney Houston estate. Because she ain't going to let you make up no money off of Whitney without her getting a cut. And I find it to be fucked up, because if this was your homegirl from back in Newark, New Jersey, and you knew what kind of relationship y'all had, and you kept that to yourself. And by the way, Robin is fucking married.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Yo, Reggie said.
Yeah, they was going to jump Wendy Williams when she did that shit. When Wendy, hey, let me tell you something, rest in peace, Nippy. Nobody checked Wendy like you, baby. Whitney checked Wendy's ass on that radio station.
That shit was dope.
And they were going to go and they were going to jump on, and that's great and all of that good shit. But it didn't happen. But it's going to go into this fucking tell-all book. Now you want to talk about your intimate relationships because things are more acceptable now than what they were back then.
I didn't even realize it. He made a good, and it's like he said, why now? 7 years later?
Yeah, right, exactly. 7 years. Well, with Luther, the reason why I brought that up was because Patti LaBelle outed him on the show, and I was very upset about that because, again, that's not your place to out a person. If they didn't talk about it while they were alive, you shouldn't have a right to talk about it in their death because you're trying to make a motherfucking coin. 7 years? You trying to tell me when you was at that funeral, you couldn't, you didn't have a moment where you felt, you know what? I need to be free.
But they doing
I'm about to tell the motherfucking business.
They doing that to all celebrities. They done did Whitney. They done did Michael. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for what they're gonna say about Prince.
Maybe she's tired of Bobby Brown going around acting like he's so in love with her. See, but a lot of people, you gotta understand something. Look up Bobby Brown and Whitney's history. Look at how they met, and out of the words of Johnny Gill, people need to stop saying that Bobby turned Whitney out. It was the other way around.
Yeah, the brother even said my sister was doing drugs way before she met
and
Bobby.
He knows because he's the one that turned her out on the motherfucking drugs. Check and go catch those teas on an old episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. He sat there in tears next to his mama. So, and this ain't even about Bobby. We don't want to make this a bashing scene about Bobby. We know about Bobby's story. We know about the kids. We know she had to pay child support. We know he wasn't faithful. We know they both had drug habits. We know that they were drug addicts that lived rich when they were probably really poor. We know about all of that shit. What I'm talking about right now is her longtime BFF deciding now, 7 years later. And check this out, y'all. It's real interesting that this book is coming out a couple of months before Whitney is set to go on the hologram tour, starting January. And if you want to know about that, you need to check us back a couple of episodes back because I gave out all the tea. She'll be starting in other countries in January, and she will come back to the U.S. in September of 2020. So why now? Why all of this when all this Whitney press is getting ready to happen in 2020?
I wonder man, that's crazy. They got holograms, man.
Yeah, Whitney gonna be the hardest working woman in show business, and she's in the grave. Okay, because her family has never had motherfucking work since she got put on. And they're going to continue to make money off of her until they can't make money off of her no more. And that's just what it is. And now the friend said, shit, well, I was with her all these years. I want a piece of that money too. Her and Pat got at that goddamn table and they got into it and they cut a deal. Because what makes for better promotion for a tour than a tell-all book about her? Get into it. Yes, Andrea. A hologram tour. All right, so y'all saw I had my rant. I just don't like when things like that happen, But moving along. So in Copper City, Florida, the rapper Trina actually this past weekend was the victim of some a racist event. So basically, she was in a Walmart. She was shopping. She made a mistake and she bumped into a older white woman. And the white woman said, "Watch out, you nigger bitch." And that's when all hell broke loose. And so, they got a video kind of going around. Trina, you got a little ponytail, a little tight, so she going off and she like, say that shit again, bitch. And she getting all into it and getting into the woman's face and call who you want to call. I'll fuck you up and all of that. Then the cops came to the scene. But law enforcement sources say they didn't take a police report because Trina decided against it. Instead, officers escorted her out of the Walmart to her car for her own safety. Police never confronted the woman who allegedly hurled the racial slur. So now, my thing is this. If you're going to go off on this woman, she called you a nigger bitch. and the cops had to escort you out the motherfucking Walmart. They never confronted her, and you said you didn't want to press no charges. What the fuck was solved here? I'm sorry, I might sound fucked up what I'm about to say, but you might as well just gave her a head nod when she called you to watch out, you nigga bitch. Because guess what? Nothing was solved with this situation. You got fucking escorted out, and because you decided not to do the police report, they decided to sweeten it up and so they escorted you out for your fucking safety.
Thank you, Reggie. See, this the shit that get me. We so quick to hook off on each other.
I'm trying to tell. I'm not going to press no charges.
But now all of a sudden, you this is the time where you need to hook the fuck off.
I'm talking about all the way off.
And I like that's man. How y'all say it, girl? Bye.
Girl, bye. Girl, bye. So now, so I just found that to be real interesting, and I think that as a people, we need to look into different ways, because there's different ways to handle this shit. And if you wanna go ahead and file a police report, you know, I would look at it. I'm the fucking famous one. I'm gonna file this police report. I might even sue this bitch for it. I might do that. Why not? But yeah, you're absolutely right. If she really pissed you off that bad, you could have threw hands. However, you should have threw hands. Trina would not have been escorted to a car. Should have been escorted to the police car. And she would have been the one perceived as being irate. So I guess maybe she just didn't feel like going to court, really didn't want to go into, what's this? Trina knows better than the press charges on that beautiful white woman. I'm trying, Uncle Ruku. That's right. You absolutely right. It's unfortunate. But let's move along. So I want to kind of talk about Eric B., hip-hop legend, and recently brand new Blue Bloods actor, was jailed in New Jersey on a warrant from 17 years ago, right? So court records show Eric B., whose last name is Barrier, 56-year-old, has been jailed since 10/28/19 on an incident that took place in September 2001. He was released on Tuesday after being held for 2 weeks. The bench warrant was issued after he failed to appear in court for sentencing in March 2002.
That's Eric B. from Rakim.
That's right.
Yeah, Eric B. from Rakim, Andrea. Yeah, I see that.
He pled guilty to aggravated assault and resisting arrest on January 28, 2002, even though the incident took place in Ridgefield Park the previous year. So right now, he goes back to court on 11/22/19. Now, the funny thing about this was that at the time...
Wait, no statute? I guess, damn. So it ain't no statute of limitations on that warrant then, huh?
Wait a minute, I'm about to get into it. Now, remember, he said his lawyer told him that he did not need to appear in court. Now, the funny thing is who his lawyer was. If you are from Jersey, the name I'm about to say, you should be very familiar with Paul Bergen.
Damn, he had Paul Bergen?
Okay? Paul Bergen was his lawyer. All right? Paul Bergen told him he did not have to show up to court. Now, if you don't know, Paul Bergen is actually serving 6 life sentences in a federal prison, going from racketeering to murder to drugs. You name it, he's probably done it. I've met Paul numerous times from the area that I'm from. And, you know, they look at Paul as just, you know, Paul basically tried to play both sides of the game. His ass is in jail right now. But what is happening is Eric's new lawyer is saying that these charges should be thrown out because, again, of who his lawyer was. The fact that his lawyer did not play the game properly. He shouldn't have told him not to appear in court and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to just do some more following up on that when he goes to court on the 22nd, just to kind of like find out what the verdict of that was. Moving right along.
I know you don't got no more tea. This is a big cup.
It's a big cup, but I'm going to do something real quick. So Kevin Hart made his first appearance since he got into that car accident with 2 people that was trying to sue him. They got married. We ain't hear nothing else. He ran away. Anyway, if you look at our show a couple of episodes back, I have all the tea, all of that. But he won an award for the People Choice Awards, which is an award I don't really support. He got it. He actually won what did they say? He won the comedy act of the 2019 People Choice Awards. And they said basically Robert Downey Jr. walked on the stage to give him the award. Kevin Hart thanked God for helping him get through the car crash alive. And first and foremost, you got to love celebrities. Because, I mean, they could be talking about doing any type of thing. And the first thing they want to do is thank God. They're saying that he says because without him, he wouldn't be here. He makes me the man that I am. And he makes me appreciate the things that really matter. So, in other words, what it looks like to me, I guess he's back into the good graces. Because People's Choice Awards is more so of a Caucasian-based audience, and we'll probably see him on another movie getting on our nerves near you. And then last and not least, Drake gets booed at Tyler, the Creator's Camp Flog performance. So Tyler, the Creator does this big old event every year. He has all different types of underrated rappers come out. This year was supposed to be Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean did not show up because Tyler wanted to actually surprise his guests with Drake coming out. And when I tell you, they was going in on him. They were booing him. They were telling him to get off the stage. And Drake was like, listen, I'm here for you. And if you want me to keep going, I'll keep going. He ended his set, I think, about maybe 45 minutes early. I think this is something new for Drake because Drake is used to kind of always winning in the rap game. So he really didn't know what to think about because I'm pretty sure Tyler's audience are a lot of eclectic and eccentric individuals. So I got that fucked him up. Unfortunately for them, he signed on to actually do this particular venue for the next 30 years. So in other words, he did the emoji that we all have in our iPhones. This one, like, so what? I don't care. And that's about it. That's all for my tea.
And that was Angie's gallon of hot tea. Tangle. God damn.
I'll be having a tea. You know what I'm saying?
You had a big cup today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we going to get into it. We have a substitute teacher, man, that went bananas on the student in Texas. And we're going to show you this video. I want your thoughts on this one, guys.
And we're going to go here after we talk about that. Yep.
Moving on to video that was caught on camera that's grabbed the attention of our governor. A Texas substitute teacher has been fired and arrested after video surfaced online that appears to show her repeatedly punching a student. We need to tell you, though, the video is violent, so it might be hard to watch. The incident happened at Lehman High School in Kyle, so that's near Austin. The video shows 32-year-old Tiffany Shadell Langford approaching a 16-year-old girl and punching her in the face. The substitute teacher then continues hitting this girl as others look in shock of what's happening. In an email to parents on Friday, the school principal said, in part, under no circumstance is that behavior tolerated. The school district says Langford is charged with aggravated assault. So now the governor now tweeting about this attack last night. He said, quote, conduct like this will not be tolerated in Texas classrooms. The substitute teacher who committed this heinous act has been arrested and will face serious legal consequences. He goes on to say the school district will even be investigated by the Texas Education Agency.
Now, this the problem that I have with this whole story. First of all, the news kind of changed the narrative. I'm not saying how she stomped her motherfucking ass out was right, but the girl attacked her first, and that's what they're not putting up. And I think that even though she took that ass whooping for attacking that lady, she should be suspended, and there should be charges brought against her too.
Thank you, Frank. He said that's only okay if you're the police.
You know what I'm saying? And then yes, because that same cop, there was a cop. There was a cop that did that to a girl in Texas, and the girl didn't attack him, didn't do nothing. She was being defiant, but she didn't hit him, and he took her ass out that chair and slammed the shit out of him, and no charges was brought up on him. But I just don't like how they changed the whole narrative and didn't bring up that this young lady attacked her first. And it gets to what a lot of people are saying in the comments, man. It's fucked up, but people got a lot going on, man. There was another dude in McDonald's. A dude came behind the counter and attacked him, and
got his ass.
He beat the brakes off of him, wouldn't stop, and that's why I tell people, yo, you can't fuck with people because you never know what's on their mind, and unfortunately that young
Gotta get my charger. I'm sorry.
That young girl. Hey, here you go. That young girl caught a real good lesson in ass whooping, man.
One thing I don't remember having a teacher's assistant when I was in school. A lot of these teachers' assistants are young.
Yeah, they are. The girl was 30. I think they said 30 or 32 years old.
Yeah, I mean that's still young.
That's young.
There's a difference between 15, 16, 17, and 30, but that 30-year-old ain't old Miss Burt.
Nope.
You know, that 50, 60, 70-year-old teacher.
Nope.
So it's like these kids are out of fucking control. These kids don't give a fuck.
They don't. But you know what's crazy? I don't think they look. If you look at that substitute teacher, like she look like she came to school for that sauce.
Had her fucking
like,
spandex on. like,
yo,
ooh, please, somebody say something to me.
Like I'm waiting to beat somebody's ass, yo.
All right, so as an educator, on this is the way I look at it, right? Technically, we need to find out what the student-to-teacher ratio was, because she's supposed to have an assistant in that class if she had over 10 children. So that's number one. Number two, she needs to review her classroom management, because the way you set your tone with students, and I'm going to tell you something, this is why I don't work in public schools anymore. And the reason why is because you can have your classroom management set up, and if you got a good rapport with the parents, they'll assist you. But sometimes you won't always get assistance from the Board of Education. So there's some things that we got to think about here. Why was this comfortable behavior for this to even happen? What happened previously? Because like y'all said, she came in there looking like she wanted the sauce.
Yeah.
Not wanted it. I don't think she came in and wanted it. I just figured let me make sure that I'm ready in case one of these little motherfuckers.
You know what's crazy? I remember my daughters and my son used to go to Irvington High. I remember I had to go there one day, and me and my wife was in the front office, and there was a young man that was in the front office telling them, "Fuck you."
I agree.
Kiss my ass, suck my dick, I'll fuck you up. And I'm sitting looking like, yo, man, why nobody ain't knocked this so?
Because you can't.
You can't, and they know it. But a lot of these kids be disrespecting these teachers.
Yes, they
do. They
be
coming at these teachers sideways, and then when the teacher flip, everybody looking like, oh, well, James was a good kid. No, fuck James.
But let's not forget the girl smacked the teacher.
Yeah, she smacked the teacher.
And, like they say, if you fucking grown enough to smack me, you grown enough to get knocked the fuck out.
You know what? People always say.
And I've seen teachers get punched in the face and done nothing.
Nah, that ain't happening.
I've seen that.
I've seen that. But people always say, oh, you can't lose control. Yo, it's easy for me to sit here and say, yo, I won't hit a woman. I'll never hit a woman. But then, let's say a lady come and hog spit in my face. Yo, there's a 99.9% chance that I'm gonna knock her the fuck out.
Well, the problem.
Do you understand where I'm coming from? So you can always say, oh, you shouldn't lose control. And don't get me wrong, she was stomping that motherfucker.
Yeah, she shouldn't have went that far.
She should have maybe caught it with a 2-piece and kept it moving. But yo, like I said, you just never know how a person might snap.
And you know, there's a fine line between that too, saying how much of an ass whooping the girl should have got. Like, who's to say when the teacher should have stopped? You smack me, I'm fucking you up.
Well, the reason why they saying that too, though, is as an adult, you're supposed to have a little bit more self-restraint than a child. But the real problem is this: when you hear parents at home, oh, but nobody better not say shit to my motherfucking child. Yeah. You're giving the child a reason to go into that school, because they know as parents, we are our children's advocates, whether it's positive or negative. If that child knows that all he or she got to do is come home and say, Miss or Mr. such and such did this, and you ready to fly off the motherfucking handle, but when they bring in straight motherfucking E's, that parent ain't got shit to say, that child already knows what the fuck is going to happen. And you got to look at that from that perspective too, because there's been there's been places all over the world. If you disrespect an educator, you will get your ass beat by the fucking village. This is somebody. And I tell adult students this. You ain't got to like them. That's not what the fuck they here for. They got something to give you. That's why the fuck you sitting in these seats. You need to get what you need to get from them, and you keep it moving. And if that teacher does some bullshit, then you go home and talk to your parents. But the village raising the children are not happening no more. The village only applies to people when it's in their benefit. People don't want you talking to their kids. People don't want you touching their kids. They don't want you looking at their kids a certain motherfucking way. It's no different than the crossing guard should be respected because she's crossing your goddamn badass kids across the street every day, and she's responsible to make sure they don't get hit by a car. But these kids won't have respect for that person. You know why? Because they don't work for the school district. I actually went through that with my daughter. My daughter did some straight bullshit. And she disrespected one of the crossing guards out there, and the crossing guard was looking out for her ass. Don't you know I made her take her little ass out there and fucking apologize? And I spoke to that crossing guard because you know what? It may be that crossing guard one day, God forbid, somebody snatched my daughter in a motherfucking car and she saw the license plate. Right. You gotta think like that, and that's the problem. That's why this shit ain't fucking happen. I want to see the parents. I want to see the principal. Y'all know I'm good. I'm blaming every motherfucking body. I want the mayor. I want the councilmen and women. Get the fuck out here and give me some goddamn answers.
But somebody said that the mother should beat the child for smacking the teacher, and I really think that child got their ass beat enough for a very long time. that child don't need no more. And I believe in chastising, but
hold up, one second. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Moving on to video that was caught on camera that's grabbed the attention of our governor. A Texas substitute teacher has been fired and arrested after video surfaced online that appears to show her repeatedly punching a student. We need to tell you, though, the video is violent, so it might be hard to watch. The incident happened at Lehman High School in Kyle, so that's near Austin. The video shows 32-year-old Tiffany Shadell Langford approaching a 16-year-old girl and punching her in the face. The substitute...
Yo,
I'm sorry. I had to bring that back.
Yo, man.
Rewind.
She fight. Like, yo, she fight.
Superman, that hope.
Yo, Ryan wildin' right now. Yo, we gonna
it ain't funny for an adult to hit a kid, but if you hit an adult and the adult hit you, fuck that.
You gonna get what your ass for.
You know why I disagree with that? Adults shouldn't hit kids, but then again, adults should hit kids. I've seen.
You shouldn't hit them
no,
first.
Frank.
I'm
with you.
I've seen kids jump the shit out of adults,
She
bro.
did have on an ass kicking outfit.
Yes, I said that from the door. She was ready. You know what?
She attempted to step on her head.
I would like to. No, she did.
She did step on her head?
Yeah, she definitely stepped on her head twice.
Yeah,
2 to 3 times.
I saw once at least.
Yeah. But it's
other kids ain't fucking with nobody. They're gonna be like this tomorrow in school.
Yeah, I remember when.
Yes.
I remember when Irvington High got to the point where they had to bring metal detectors because cats was bringing knives, chains. Like, some of these teachers are on some shit like, this shit off the hook.
Yeah, that's brain damage. Right?
I ain't coming in here with no dress and no shoes.
So
I'm about to put these Timbs on.
That shit is deep, y'all.
And this hoodie, and we gonna get busy if one of these things get out of hand.
So on from a negative note of what happened inside of a school, because that's some crazy shit.
That shit hilarious.
I just want to kind of shed some light of some things that are going to take place in New Jersey public schools. So it's saying that New Jersey is actually sending teachers back to visit transatlantic slave sites to teach Black history in public schools. New Jersey public school teachers will get to travel to transatlantic sites associated with the slave trade to learn how to better teach Black history, not just in February, but year-round, to comply with a decades-old state mandate. The initiative was announced Friday as a new program under the state's Amistad Law, which requires all public schools to teach African American history. The mandate was established, check this year out, under a 2002 law signed by former Governor Jim McGreevey, but it has not been widely implemented. So it was the brainchild of Jacques Gredington. Shout out to Mr. Gredington, a retired
The R&B singer?
Hell no. A retired East Orange music teacher turned activist who wants to change how black history is taught. He got the idea after a visit to Ghana and said that it changed his life forever. There are people who have no clue about the value of the African American story, Greddington said. Slave auction historical maker unveiled near Camden waterfront, where hundreds were brought and sold. Governor Phil Murphy joined state education officials at a news conference in Atlantic City at the annual gathering of the New Jersey Education Association, where the program was unveiled. If you wonder why your kids was out of school, this is what the teachers were doing. The Teachers Association will pick up the cost for the program, initially about $75,000 a year. I think that that's something good. It's crazy that this law was signed in 2002, which brings me back to what I was saying before. You got to know your laws, find out what's going on. This law was signed in 2002. Here we are in 2019, and the initiative is just being pushed.
Now, this is the problem that I have. And Stars already said, and I'm gonna say it for you. Our history is not fucking slavery.
Of course it goes beyond
I'm
slavery.
tired of every time they talk about our history, it's some slavery shit. Even it's always the narrative of the, hey, how you doing, boss? And no sup, boss. Nah, we that's not who we were.
Well,
that's not who we are.
I think
but they
gonna
need
go
to
more
talk
in depth
about
with it.
And I don't. Because if they was to go in depth with it, then people would really understand that it was us that did a lot of the things. If you look in Europe, the Moors, the black Moors, we was the ones that told the European kings and queens that they couldn't sleep with their chickens and their animals.
But if you want to go that,
and they had to set the farm, but
you want to go that route, the Moors were eunuchs. And if you want to go that far, they had slave masters too called Arabs.
Yeah, but just listen to where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. They're not going to tell you that we were the one that changed. That you have castles that's in Africa that they don't show on TV.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's not something that can be implemented. Now,
it can be implemented, but what I'm saying is they're not. What I'm getting to is I think they're trying to pacify people, and they're really not gonna. If they want to teach Black history, they need to go play Hidden Colors in all the schools.
No, listen.
And make everybody sit there and watch that shit from 1 to 5.
Listen, no,
come on, man.
Listen, this is the thing. You are absolutely right. I completely agree with you. However, that learning about slavery doesn't always have to be, the passive, submissive slave. There are a lot of stories that show that either some people died before they got over here, or some people actually took the right and stand up for our people. Now, one thing I am going to say is this. They're not going to just talk, from what I've read in the article, they're not just going to talk about that in particular. They're just reinstituting that law that nobody else pushed the agenda, so that way we can talk about these things more than once a fucking month.
And you know what? Shauna made a good thing. And this slavery thing is the very foundation of American history.
And you're absolutely right. Now, when you learn American history, you are taught in maybe 2 to 3 pages tops about slavery. We need to talk about not just slavery, but all the topics that make us uncomfortable. And it's funny that we're even talking about this because I've been looking up on some stuff. I'm going to talk about this next week. There is a young man that's actually doing a play about slavery, and he's a young African American man, but he's not doing it from the perspective of just the slaves. He's doing it from a perspective of the slave masters, and he's saying that he feels that you need to teach Caucasians to be uncomfortable with what happened. And they need to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable, to say, oh, that wasn't me. That was just my ancestor. Because let me tell you something. I've sat down and I've had conversations with a lot of different races about this. And when you bring up this topic about slave masters and shit like that, the Caucasian counterparts, they get very uncomfortable. They don't like to have this conversation. They pacify it. They push it off to the side. So maybe this is something that needs to be addressed. However, like again, when I read the report, that is not the only thing they're going to be talking about. They're pushing it called the Amistad law, something that's been going on something that was put out here in 2002. And shout out to the retired teacher from East Orange, New Jersey, that decided to make this his brainchild and put out there for the fight.
And Tyler, you're right. You can't teach a racist person anything about race. But I want to get into this the last 10 minutes. Uncle Rob, was you able to get that small clip I showed you? Which one? With the dude talking about black women.
Oh, we still got 2 more topics.
Ayana.
Yeah, and before you do it, the reason why I want to bring this up, since we on this, there was a conversation I had with 2 gentlemen, and they were saying why they didn't mess with black women anymore, and they want other this. So, because I showed them this clip, so I want y'all to tell me how you feel about this clip.
For celibate Coro, he is unable to see that the anger he perceives in women of color is actually manifesting
what's happening? Let's go.
Black women,
38.
they've been lied to, they've been cheated on, they've been hurt in their past relationships by men, and they have lack of trust. I always talk to black women, they don't want to talk to me. Minute I talk to a white woman, they get mad. You want to think you're mad? I'm mad too. There's a lot of anger inside of me. What about us? Black women talk about me, me, me. What about us black men? We go through stuff too. We're tired of hearing the same thing of, oh, we're independent women. We're independent this, we're independent that. I'm independent too. We have a lot in common. You have this imaginary wall around you. I don't know who damaged you. And me being a black man, I have to suffer for what somebody did to you? That has nothing to do with me. I'm not the enemy. I get that a lot from black women, that we're the enemy, we're liars, cheaters, we're dogs. It's okay. Diary of a Mad Black Man. I have a journal I keep. And then when I show this side to women, they think it's a weakness. This is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. But then when I show this to you, to black women, you don't know how to receive it.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to being abused. It makes it hard for me to get to know this.
Hello, my beloveds. Thank you so much.
Cut it off.
Beloved.
So when I seen this, I had showed some brothers this. So they were saying that's the reason why, and it hurts me because it seems like
I have a journal.
yeah, he caught me with that shit.
Now you hear these black men going in on that black brother. He just said some real shit.
I have a
real
journal.
men cry in the dark.
But
I'm okay with the crying, but I have a journal.
He has a journal too.
See
that.
Nah, all right, but listen, hold on. But I'm so sick and tired of this narrative.
Oh no, kinda no. Oh God, no.
That all our women are just these mad, angry, hurt, and all of our black men are these drug dealing, no good baby fathers and all of this other stuff. And Jay-Z said in one of the line, the bitches from my projects fuck with the niggas down the way, but they just like us. And it's the same thing. Men gonna be men, woman gonna be woman. It has nothing to do with color.
Like them niggas down the street any different than us.
Yeah.
You just don't know that.
You just don't know. And what people don't know is there is a narrative that's being pushed that the black man and the black woman cannot be together. And that shit is false. But at the same time, I think we do need to change our narrative, because if you look on my daughter, I was talking to my youngest daughter today, and we was talking about the Omarion and all of that, and she was saying,
I got the tea next week for that.
She was saying basically, like, Pops, they had to come up with some type of drama so they can be on TV and everybody wants to see
storyline. Yeah.
And I looked at my daughter like, okay, you see the shit, but it's like everything they put on TV is this wild black woman who's shaking her ass, who want money and can't be controlled, or some pants sagging black dude that and that's not who we are.
Right. So again, it's going back to making us hate ourselves. and love their wealth. Well, what has happened is that people, and not all black people, but a lot of people have fed into the stereotypes. And so sometimes, like, I felt that brother when he cried, even though a lot of y'all was making jokes and shit.
Because he had a journal.
He got a journal. However, the problem that I see is that we need to stop counting each other's scars and seeing how many scars we have. And I got more than you and you got more than me. And we need to start healing each other, because the black man and the black woman unit together is a target. Okay, they might separate you, divide and conquer, but the target is together. They understand that the power that we have when we are put together. So when you take nigga and bitch can never be together. Okay?
I don't know about that.
No.
I know some niggas with
No,
some
I know
bitches
niggas and
together
bitches.
long.
I know niggas and bitches too, but they ain't happy. And they living and they living the stereotypical life. So when I say nigga and bitch, I'm talking about the most vile, ignorant motherfuckers you could think of. They don't understand that they can't even have a perception of how they can get out of that perception of who people tell them that they are. When you have men saying, because you gotta think about it, it goes all the way back to little boys crying, and then you have moms and dads, man up, stop crying.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Take that. You don't cry. You gonna be a man.
You got a journal?
You don't cry.
I'll fuck you
Fuck
up.
a journal. I rip that shit.
No.
No, I'm gonna tell you, if a lot of little black boys got to cry, a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't have got shot.
Yeah, but we getting away from
I'm just saying.
But I don't know, man. But because I know a gentleman, and this is what gets me.
Yes.
I know a gentleman. He's
That's
about
right.
34 years old, has no children. Very successful young man, 3 houses, doing what he do. And he be like, yo, man, I be trying to talk to my sisters.
Shout out to the viewers. Y'all wow.
Because I'm not all thugged out, a lot of them don't talk to me. But the Spanish and the white woman, they the ones that's talking to me. And the sisters look at me like, why you with them? But then I'm looking at you like, you ain't even want to talk to me.
I got you, KT. Don't worry.
And I think that kind of throw things off too, man. I think the TV has really changed a lot of people's minds on how they even look at each other. Because most dudes now, they want the chick with the big tits, the fat ass,
the carbon copies,
and they can't even do nothing. Like, one of the things that me and my wife tried to make sure my daughters do, my daughters can wash their own clothes, they can cook, they're very beautiful. But if they can take care of themselves and take care of home.
But can they change their own oil?
You know what?
He's like, you know what?
Mecca probably, because she don't like to get dirty, but if Disha had to, she'll YouTube that shit and do it. So, and you know what? Mecca would too. They could do it, but
you got to think about this, Paul, real shit. Even down to ads, right? Mm-hmm. You can go into a fucking Walmart or a Target near you. Go into the baby section. You know how you get those little baby carriers? You can carry your baby up here. They'll have 2 versions of the same shit. Yeah. One, you got the white woman with the baby and the husband. Mm-hmm. And he's like this.
Then you got,
and then you got the sister. She by her goddamn self.
With a pack of shrimp oodles and noodles
okay,
on the back
like, look, we're going to make it. So what happens is, again, people, we are both so fucking damaged. They took our men away from us out of the home when public assistance came into play. They took our men from us in Vietnam and had them come back to drugs when we were homemakers. Now we hoes. So this is some shit.
But some of our women,
yes,
not all, some of our women embrace that whole shit.
No, I'm not.
And they embrace, and our men, and it's, you know what? It's our men, it's the men's fault too, because we like that shit. But yo, if you look at you got women like, look at Kim Kardashian. I forgot what lady said it. Barbara
Walters.
Barbara Walters said to her.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny as hell. She said, "You're making all this money and have no talent. Right. What is your talents?" And guess what?
She's a good motherfucking business.
Guess what our society and TV pushed?
What?
She got famous, and we started knowing about her from sucking Ray J's dick. Let's be real.
We knew about her from there. The thing about it was, her first of all, her father was Rob Kardashian Sr., one of the people that got O.J. Simpson off.
He would have probably died if he come on,
That's
if he was
number,
alive.
That's number one. Number two, she was Paris Hilton's best friend, and she also was a stylist. And we talking about a topic that has nothing to do with Kardashian, so we're going to get off
Nobody knew the fuck she was. So
they
she
didn't.
Sucked the dick.
But how about that?
But
how many dicks was she sucking before she got the Ray J's?
A lot of dick.
A lot of them.
I want to say this. One thing I will say, that's all I've dated my whole life is black women. But one thing I can say is one of the things that always annoyed me was what he was talking about was the baggage from the last relationship.
Yep.
Right.
So it's not to disrespect black women, but literally most black women that I've dated, not all, there's always that you being compared to what happened to them in their other relationship. So I'll give you a prime example. One time I was in a relationship and I said something as a joke, but because it happened to the girl X amount of whatever in the past relationship, she took that as me disrespecting her. And I was like, I'm just fucking with you. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I am. And then I always have the thing, what I tell most people, and I think y'all would know this, I'm never going to say anything to anybody to purposely disrespect you.
Right.
And when you know that about me, if I say something disrespectful, you know I'm fucking with you.
Right.
Right? And you got a big nose.
Right.
You don't have a big nose.
Right.
You got a cute nose.
Thank you.
But, you know what I mean? I'm fucking with you. But a lot of women are so, like the word you use, damaged by another nigga when a guy that has a journal comes along.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like she's already fucking labeling him, from some other shit she went through. And it's rough.
And
it's
sometimes
rough.
it's not.
It's black dudes out here too.
Sure.
Who do the same thing.
Sure.
Some chick done hurt him, tore his ass up.
Yes.
And now he out here
just fucking everybody.
So it's on both sides,
and
man.
And Andrea's right. You have to learn the person you're with, and everybody has trauma and triggers. So when you say damaged, sometimes damage can be misinterpreted for guarded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but being too guarded, it's not allowing the relationship to blossom because you're too guarded.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And of course, her being guarded may have came from past experiences and things like that. And that's why people need to get to talking more before we fuck. Remember, we are in a fast food society. So first off of what we see off the gate is what attracts us. And then we already go test out the motherfucking Wendy's burger and shit, and it's good. We go back there a couple of more times for a double stack, but we never even learned that there was a double cheeseburger around the corner. We need to get to know each other before we get to that level, because everything is so fucking fast. If this relationship doesn't work out, don't you worry, guys and ladies. Swipe left. You always got an option, even when you don't have an option.
That's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? It is fucked up. And again, it puts us against each other. You have the same song. You have one rap song with this nigga talking about this bitch better suck my dick. She want all this money. Fuck you, Trick. I'm not giving you shit. Huh? You just told me you got all this money. You just flashed all this money in my face. You told me I should pop my ass. Then you tell me I ain't getting shit. Nigga and bitch. Okay, because the bitch fuck that. There was a video going around on Instagram. I think the girl was from Miami, and she was all made up, and she was like, in 2019, a nigga going to be able to pay my bills, and he ain't taking me out on no date. And I said, fuck. She fucking it up for the good women, because her mind is only about what she can get tangible wise. And the sad part about it is,
bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, though, there's a guard over there. Something happened to that girl in her fucking mind, but there's so much ignorance. Ain't nobody got time to be pulling them layers back.
That's the perception now. That's the thing now too. A lot of women if a dude can't.
Yes,
I seen a post with a chick put up, if a dude can't pay a bill, there's no reason why I should give him pussy. And I was just like, so you telling me if I pay your electric bill,
I'm sorry.
I got access to the meats? It just, I don't know, man.
Right. So it depreciates her value, because again, paying her rent or her car note, that means that she only has value within her vagina. And not all women are like that. And let me tell you something, too. There's another reason for a guard. Sisters are getting tired of being lumped up in that same thing. Oh, all you black women are independent. I tell a motherfucker any day, please hold the door for me. Please pull out the chair. If I need something to be picked up or fixed, I'm going to ask you to do it. I don't have a problem with those things. But because you see that I'm able to handle my own bills and take care of myself, you automatically assume that I'm Miss Independent and I don't need no nigga before I even said that shit. And I don't even feel that way.
So, I respect a woman that got her own. I don't give a fuck if she make more money than me or less money than me. I don't give a fuck.
Let's get this shit together.
Like, I'm gonna be presenting my wife's business that she's starting soon. I'm gonna be presenting it, and maybe I can get her to come on the show and talk about it. But yeah, once everything start going and she really gets it off the ground, I know she's gonna be making more money than me. She's gonna be independent. You get what I'm saying? And
okay, Tyler.
I'm cool with that. I don't know how a man can get upset because his female is making more money than him.
Frank, you trying to get hurt. Our Nubian white cream.
As long as you able to be able to sustain and you that man to take care of things, yo, it is what it is, man. But
wait a minute, real quick, because KT reminded me of something.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta make sure that now, real quick, because at first I was looking in some of my old books, and I was like, you know what? Let me just read one of my old pieces. And then I was at work. And I took some time just for y'all to the side. And I said, let's just jot some things down and let's see what we come up with. So I did something real quick. As you can see, I also have a journal. I hate this motherfucker. All right. So the title of this is, what do you see? It's going to kind of jump into a few subjects. What do you see when you look at me? I've asked you this question 1,000 times, but you never knew. So what's up? When you look at me, do you see the pretty physique? Or do you see the pain in my eyes? Pretty, isn't it? Do you feel how slow my heartbeat is? Or do you care? It's slow because it beats for you, but you never take the time to listen. So I guess it's regular. My heart beats slow because it aches at all the heartbreak my people endure. Distressed, put to the test every day by a system that could care less. But remember, the Reverend says you're blessed. But real lies recognize real lies. Every day we say, R.I.P. Have you seen me? Him or her? Or the babies? Where are they? What rabbit hole must I go to obtain our babies? Living in ignorance, fear, oh dear, we're just in the times just to get by. I wonder why you never hear me. Sometimes I forget what you look like, how you sound, or your heartbeat. They put us against each other when we are on the same team. I forgot you're the head and I'm the body. I forgot we can't survive alone. I ache for your embrace. I feel so alone. My heart is slow cause you're scared. And I'm afraid to say I'll be there. You're leaving me all the time in the tireless pursuit of the grind. Can we get back to we, just you and me, the head and the body? Only at that time will you see me. No, I or you, just us together on this plane of more than lust and despair. The emotion we need is care. What do I see when I look at me? I see you.
I like that. You know what? You just inspired me. Roses are red. Nah. Nah, we gonna end the show, man. We thank y'all for tuning in. Please like everything, man. Power to you, man. We had a great discussion tonight, man.
Let me see.
You know, Thanksgiving and everything is coming up, so you know, people doing their family. So in December we'll be featuring to get some things together with the rappers. But Angie, go ahead.
All right, y'all. So real quick, as always, you know that we appreciate everything that you do for us. You constantly rock with us. You tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And for that, we love y'all. Real quick, though, I just want to let you know, if you're going to get the flu shot, I'm kind of against it. Be mindful that it's not an insulin shot. Don't want you to get sick. And I know that you see that like button because I've been begging you to hit it all through the show. And I know you see that subscribe button, too. So don't forget, 2 Oxtails and an Empanada, 15 minutes of Fame Radio.
And I just want to throw this out there. Vaginal sex can make your day, but anal sex can make your whole week.
Think about it. Think about it.
And if you don't understand that and you're going through something bad, just remember a midget smell things differently in the elevator. Y'all have a good night, man, and we'll talk to y'all next week, man. Peace.